Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I hope you are having a great day. Today's story includes family drama, child abandonment, negligent parents, trauma, manipulation and favoritism between siblings. Be aware. Am I the idiot for telling my stepsiblings to shut the F up, and they can't seriously expect me to be glad my dad could be there for them, when he wasn't for me? By Lazy at 8895. My dad left my mom when my sister and I, 17 male, were little kids. I was 4 I think and she was 6. We never saw him again and our mom was left to raise us solo. We found out 2 years after the fact that dad was married again and was raising his wife kids. When I was 13, my mom and sister died in a car accident. I stayed with some family for several months, before dad decided he was going to fight for me. After a legal battle, the judge decided I should reconcile with my father and I was sent out of state to live with him and his new family. I'm 17 now and I am counting down the days for freedom from this place and these people. My dad has tried harder than ever before, since I have lived with him, but it was too little too late. My step-siblings are the most annoying people on the planet. They jump to defend my dad. They always tell me to give him a chance, that he's a great dad and I don't know him like they do. Yeah, because he chose to abandon you and raise them. They also claim my sister is their sister, and have mentioned how they wish I would share some photos of her with them, because she is, quote, our sister. I told them how my sister would not have liked them calling her that. I've been told I couldn't know that, blah blah blah. Over the years it's been a lot of therapy, a lot of my dad and his wife trying to convince me I should be part of their family, and a lot of my wants being ignored. The biggest one is to go home to my actual family. My step-siblings keep bringing up how hard I am on dad, and how great he is and saying they don't understand why I'm rejecting him. A few days ago, dad wanted me to go on a father-son fishing trip with him and I turned him down. They barged into my room and started telling me how wrong I was. His stepkids are 16, 14 and 12, by the way. They said I need to give him a chance and how I'm a bigger a-hole than he ever was. I seriously doubt that. They said could I not appreciate that he was a good dad to them and was there for them, even if he couldn't be there for me. I lost it. Told them to shut the F up and they can't seriously expect me to be grateful for that. I could see they were upset, and I told them I had no desire to care about them, or him, or their mom, and that I wanted them to act like I wasn't there, because I will be gone soon enough. My dad and his wife were furious, and honestly, the stepkids were too. They all said I was out of line and was taking my anger at my dad out on them. I told them they were harassing me and were selfish to think I would be glad, the deadbeat who abandoned me and my sister was there for 3 random kids. I said if anything, I would love to see if they'd say the same thing when he one day walks out on them too. Let's just say things are tense now. Am I the idiot? OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the a-hole. I told my step-siblings to shut the F up, and said how they can't seriously expect me to be glad my dad was there for them when he wasn't for me. I know it might sound like I'm taking my issues with my dad out on them, plus I know they feel some kind of loyalty to him, since he was good to them and all that stuff. So I might have been overly harsh and rude to them. Your step-siblings have a lot of nerve. How can they say that to you? How could anyone be grateful for being abandoned by their parents as a child? What are they thinking? They have no empathy? I know they are teenagers, and that's why some people might think they have no idea what they're saying, but nah, that was way too much. Saying this, they show they not only lack empathy with your situation, but also how they have no respect with everything you, your mother and sister went through. Your father chose to abandon you and be their father. He didn't have to choose between all of you. He could have been the father to all of you, but he had to be the biggest a-hole in the world, and abandoned you and your sister. It doesn't matter that he was a great dad to them. This doesn't erase what he did to you. So, what you said to them may be harsh, but it's not the idiot OP. As for your father, I don't know exactly. He might really regret everything he did in the past, especially after what happened to your mom and sister, and he wants to make up for lost time and be your dad from now on, but that's not his choice anymore, it's yours. And he can, and in my opinion should, keep trying to get close to you, but in a way that respects your boundaries and choices. Because like you said, in a few months you'll be 18, and if things continue like this, he might never hear from you again. But anyway, not the idiot OP. And what did you guys think of this situation? Do you think OP went too far with what he said to his step-siblings? And what do you guys have to say about OP's father? Anything? Don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments. Now let's read what the comments say before going to the update. Hard not the idiot, they needed to hear it and quit trying to act like your trauma isn't real. Not the idiot, you are right in your feelings, that your dad was too little too late to salvage his relationship with you. You lost the two people who were always with you when your dad wasn't, and now you are expected to accept and be grateful that he came back? Like no, if your dad wanted to be a dad to you, he would have never have abandoned you guys in the first place, or at the very least, continued to visit you and your sister, if he still cared. But it was only after you lost your mom and sister that he's back and you don't want him. Anyone who says that you are the a-hole for snapping at the stepkids are wrong, because they kept pestering you about forgiving your father. Defending him, saying you were wrong when you don't want to spend time with him, when all they have known about him is that he was always there for them, they can't comprehend that he was never there for you. Or they do and they just don't care. I'm wondering if your dad gets government benefits for you, when your mom died and that's why he didn't want you living with relatives. Interesting. Not the idiot, my guess is that you want to finish school where you're now, so depending on when you turn 18, we'll have to consider that into your plans. But once you have a solid plan to finish school, and if can stay elsewhere before turning 18, you can make it into a bigger issue, so with the tension in the house they'll agree for you to go earlier. You don't owe him anything. Not the idiot, not at all, you are entitled to your feelings and they are entitled to theirs. I wonder if they have stopped to realize that your life was turned upside down, and that you were sent to live with strangers, not with family. Conception doesn't make a dad, being there does, and he wasn't there for you. Well, what did you guys think of this comments? Do you agree with them? Don't forget to leave your thoughts down below. Now let's go to the update. Update. It's still early, so I was going to wait to post an update, but figured some of you would read this and it might save some stuff being repeated. I mentioned in a comment that during a fight between us, a while ago, I asked if my dad would abandon his stepkids and wife, if it made me forgive him, and he had said yes. I never said anything about it to anyone, though I know I could easily have used it to hurt them, but I have never wanted to be that much of an idiot, no matter how much I dislike my stepsiblings or my dad. What I said came up a couple of hours ago. Dad wanted me to spend some time with him, he wanted to talk out the incident with my stepsiblings and, quote, find a way for us to move forward as a family. I was never going to agree to that, and once he figured that out, he started getting increasingly agitated, and then in front of his wife and stepkids, he yelled at me asking if abandoning his family would really make me forgive him. Because he'd do it, he'd do anything, he'd give them all up for me to give him a chance and let him try to make it up to me. He did not hold back at all. Shit hit the fan and his stepkids are all crying in their rooms, while his wife and him are yelling at each other, but I think this might help me get back to my family sooner, because I don't see his marriage surviving this. From what I'm hearing, he's telling his wife he needs to win my love, and she's furious that he would hurt her kids like that. Ma'am, he's already abandoned and hurt wife and kids before, do you think he wouldn't do it again? Wake up, please. Look, I don't know what's going on with your father OP, I don't know if he's really sorry for everything he did to you in the past and really wants to have you back as his son. I don't know if he's unhappy with his marriage or with his current life, and is using this situation to blow up everything and start over, or if there's something else going on with him. I don't know. But none of this is your fault OP, I have no idea what's going to happen next. But this is all consequences of years of your dad's actions and decisions, and the blame to all this is solely on him. Good luck OP, I hope things turns out good to you. And what did you think of this update? What do you think will happen to the father's marriage? And do you think that even if he divorces his wife, OP's father will let him go back to his family? Or do you think he will let him go live with them to try to save his marriage? Do you think he would do that after what he said about doing everything to have his son back? Do you even think this marriage can be saved? And do you think the relationship between OP and his father can be fixed? Don't forget to leave your comments down below, and tell us what you think of this situation. Oh, and I hope you are enjoying the video so far. If so, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications to know when a new video is out. Now let's go to the next story. Am I the idiot for refusing to take my roommate's son for a few hours and causing him to miss the birth of his baby? I, 22 years old, am in college. I live in a rental apartment with my roommate, Simon, 28 years old, and his 4-year-old son. The mother of the child is deceased and he got together with his now ex-girlfriend, but broke up 4 months ago. He was expecting a baby with her and the baby was born this past Wednesday. I was in the middle of studying and preparing for my exam when Simon barged in telling me his ex-girlfriend's mom just called him and said she was in labor, and he had to go to the hospital. He started begging me to take his son for a few hours, probably till midnight, so he could be there for his baby's birth. I declined and said I had so little time left and needed to focus on studying. He begged, saying that I wouldn't even feel his son's presence, but the kid is so hyperactive and hard to deal with basically. He started raising his voice at me saying I was being mean for no reason, and he had no one else he knows that could take his son. I told him he could have prepared for this by hiring a babysitter. He started going off saying that I was being unhelpful on purpose. I told him to get out of my room. He said he'd just leave the kid with me then. I told him I'd call the cops as soon as he'd do that, which made him back off. He was fuming. He took his son and left and came back the next day telling me that I just caused him to miss the birth of his baby and that he'll never forgive me for what I'd done. He's been avoiding me since it happened. Am I the idiot? OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the a-hole. 1. I refused to take my roommate's son for a few hours, so he could be there for his baby's birth. 2. I might be the idiot for refusing to take his son and causing him to miss his baby's birth. I could have sucked it up for a few hours since he had no one else to take the kid. No, generally speaking, OP wasn't the idiot. OP couldn't take care of the child. OP was busy and needed to prepare for the exam. I think we've all been in a similar situation, but in this case, OP could be a little more understanding with the roommate's need. It was an emergency. There was a baby about to be born. Of course the roommate should have already planned for someone, besides OP, to take care of his son when the time came, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. So OP wasn't in a hole, but I understand why the friend is upset. And what do you guys think? Would you do the same as OP, or would you take care of the child at the risk of not being well prepared for your exam? Now let's go to the comments. Not the idiot. If he had asked you in advance or his babysitter dropped out or something, then that would be different. The fact he knew the baby would arrive at some point and didn't make any kind of arrangements makes him the a-hole for springing it on you. What would he have done if you weren't home? Was that his plan all along, to just drop the child on you? Crazy. Do you consider him your friend? If you consider him a friend, you are 1000% the off for not helping out in extremes like this. It's not a trip to the store or dentist. It's the birth of his child. He can't just do it later. Don't be surprised if this ruins y'all's friendship. Friends help. If you don't care about this dude and you only really know of him 'cause you share the house, then no, you're not the idiot, because you don't expect people you hardly know to watch your kid. Technically not the idiot, but good grief, where is people's compassion nowadays? Why do you care if he's avoiding you? You clearly didn't care about him, so why should he care about you? Everyone sucks here. He should have planned better, but it costs nothing to be kind to the person you live with. Unpopular take, but you are the idiot. Not everyone can plan when they go into labor. It's not like he was asking you to watch him so he could go and kick ball or something. He was asking you to watch him so he could be present for his child's birth. You could have done it just this one time, and then not again. Not the idiot. It was his responsibility to find a suitable babysitter. You weren't it. And what do you guys think of the comments? Do you agree with them? And do you think OP was the idiot? Or would you have done the same as him? Don't forget to leave your comments down below. And that's it for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time.